Matter of fact, I ran into a big storm on our way over here. We'll get a look at that later tonight as we check out some of the readings on our radar. However, we also are going to see how these high dew points and high humidity values can also result in very hot heat indexes. It makes it feel very muggy and gross outside. It felt like you live in an actual swamp, which in Florida, as you know, as hard as it is to believe, we actually do. However, we are going to see still a lot of above average temperatures coming into the rest of the evening, next coming days, as a matter of fact, as well. But then we have some rain coming, and a good amount of it as well. And then behind that rain is going to be a cold front, and it's going to be pushing its way through our region, and we are going to start to see those cooler temperatures that we expect to see this time of year. Considering that around the average this time of year is going to be the high 50s for the lows, we're seeing mid 70s right now. But for a closer look of what's going on in terms of an overview, let's head out to Charlie down at the wall where he has a look at our overview.
That's right. Thank you, Jordan. Taking a look at today's almanac, we see today's high of 90 degrees, the low of 74. Again, you see above that average of 83, but nowhere near that average low like Jordan mentioned earlier. And you see those records. In 2014, we high of 93, and the record low in 2000 of 41 degrees. Looking at today's high temperatures, you see those high 80s, even getting into the 90s here in Tallahassee, 91 in Quincy, 91 in Bainbridge, and 92 a little further west in Mariana. Looking at the satellite and radar, we can see all these shadows hanging over the Tallahassee area. They've been there all morning, a little foggy morning, and then right around noon, you just see everything explode up. You see that rainfall that we saw later this afternoon. Looking at tonight's forecast, we see temperatures around 74 degrees with a 30% chance of rain. That percentage will drop the closer to midnight a little later as it gets, but be prepared for another humid, muggy night and the same thing in the morning. Today's weather headlines, we see another hot and humid day, above average temperatures, and that rain is coming back, keeping that summer weather here to stay for at least a little bit. And now I'm going to send it back to Jordan at the desk.
Thanks so much, Charlie. For now, we're going to start talking about what happened today in weather history. Back in 1925, widespread early season snows fell in the northeastern U.S. with as much as 2 feet in New Hampshire and Vermont. Imagine that, 2 feet of snow. That's crazy. The heavy snow blocked roads and canceled football games. Wow, that's absolutely crazy. A deluge of 6.72 inches of rain in 48 hours flooded the Chicago River back in 1954, causing $10 million of damage to the Chicago area. That's absolutely crazy. And that was reported by the Weather Channel at the time. In 1987, we had more than 30 cities in the upper Midwest reported record low temperatures for the date, including Waterloo, Iowa, and Scottsbluff, New England, where the mercury dipped to 16 degrees. That's absolutely crazy. Luckily, we won't have to deal with those here. We're going to deal with much hotter temperatures, as a matter of fact, as we head out to the local one, where I'm going to bring it out to the wall right over here. Right now in Tallahassee, sadly, we're experiencing a thunderstorm, folks. This is reported down by the airport. That humidity, as you can see, is at 100% because it matches our dew point, which is also 77 degrees. Once the humidity is 100%, that means the dew point and the temperature are the exact same. Surprisingly, we have some calm winds, nothing registering actually, as a matter of fact, on those instruments, which means that these storms are actually going to be here to stay for a little bit until these winds can start to push it out of our region. Current temperatures can also map out exactly where we are in terms of rainfall because the cooler temperatures is actually where the rain fell. 77 here in Tallahassee, Monticello at 75 degrees, and Valdosta at 76. The areas that haven't gotten rain yet, you're seeing much warmer temperatures. Perry at 84 degrees, St. Mark's at 82 degrees, and Mariana at 87 degrees. That is our hottest temperature that we see on this map here. Local dew points, you can see just that line of showers right along here where the dew points are very high. 74 degrees in Monticello, 75 Valdosta, 77 in Tallahassee, 79 in Thomasville, and even reaching 80 degrees in Apalachicola. And what does that mean exactly? That means miserable temperatures and lots and lots of moisture. So it's going to be a very bad hair day for anyone out there who doesn't have any hairspray or gel in their hair. Right now, we're under these oppressive degrees in terms of dew point, and that is because of all the moisture in the air and all the rain we've been experiencing. However, it is what we expect. We had a lot of gusts earlier today, about 20 miles per hour before this rain kicked in, but ever since then, it has gone silent. Notice the wind's just going all over the place. Most of it, though, is from the south, and this is helping to fuel all the moisture in that air, and that's what's bringing a lot of these storms. Notice how the winds combine right up here and right up here, and you start to get a lot of that little pop-up showers right there in the Big Bend region. Let's go ahead and look in earlier. This is what hit us earlier when I was actually walking into the studio earlier today, and this was a big cell. Luckily, it has moved out of our way. You can see it's slowly moving out of the way, slowly but surely. But if you do have any plans for later tonight, be sure to pack that umbrella with you. You are going to need it. We aren't expecting any of this to calm down until around 2 a.m. or so. So a couple of flood warnings by some rivers, and that is due to some Irma. Let's check out our regional setup right now. We have this cold front later in the week. But for now, we are going to start to experience those higher temperatures. If you want to head out boating tomorrow, because you might not have class, we are going to expect to see east winds at about 10 knots, 1 to 2 feet of wave, so a slight chop. However, you are still going to have a chance of showers as we go on. Tonight especially, a 30% chance of showers. Early storm is possible, and it's going to be very warm, very humid at about 74 degrees. Here we go into Thursday's outlook. 90 degrees tomorrow, cloudy day, and expect an afternoon shower. We have our rain chances at about 40%, and that wind should help to calm it down. Over the next 5 days, we're going to start to see these temperatures just stay right where they are. Rain chances start to dip down as you head into your weekend. Those temperatures still stay very high. Heading into your work week next week, we are going to start to see those temperatures dipping down, but those rain chances increasing as we go along to that. But now Charlie's going to take us a little more broad look at the southeast.
We see Key West down there, pretty cloudy as well. Miami, Orlando, a little sunnier. We'll see later on, they had a little more dry air moving in their way. Tallahassee, you see those thunderstorms that we've been experiencing, and a little further north you go, you see those clouds start to dissipate a little bit behind that front. Looking at the current temperatures, we see 84 down in Key West, 86 in Miami, 84 in Orlando. So these areas still haven't really gotten any of that rain to cool anything off. Tallahassee, you see our temperatures dropping down to 77 now. You have New Orleans out 88 degrees, Jackson 83, and Huntsville 77. Montgomery, Alabama 86 degrees. So you can see that change in temperature. You can guess pretty much by those low numbers who received a little bit of rain today. Looking at the relative humidity, you see Tallahassee, that big triple digit. You know it's awfully wet out there when you see that. We see Orlando at 66. Like I said, they're getting a little bit drier air. Further south, 57% relative humidity in Miami, 72 in Key West. Looking further west, all the way to New Orleans, 59, and Little Rock, Arkansas, 51. Shout out to Tevin Wooten. Taking a look at the southeast radar, like you see all these shadows, you see these clouds, and then right there, right around the 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock range, you see those clouds start to spritz up and really drop some rain, cool those temperatures off, but make the roads a little slippery. Looking at we got two low pressure systems, one off to the north in the Great Lakes area, and then that connects all the way further south, all the way down here, across the Gulf of Mexico to the coastline of Texas, the very south. We see this is that front that's bringing this rain and these little cooler temperatures, but we're not expecting that to move away too quickly. Looking at the water vapor, we see Orlando getting that dry air that I was talking about, that real moist water, that real moist air down in the Keys region over the Bahamas. Tallahassee, you see that moisture pop up around the 4 o'clock hour and just continue to keep going on. Looking at watches and warnings, we see small craft advisory. That's a little bit choppy conditions, wind, rain. Further ahead, we see flood watches in Orlando, still dealing with that rain from Hurricane Irma. Looking at tonight's forecast, 79 in Key West, 78 in Miami, 70 in Orlando, 73 in Tallahassee. See those temperatures slowly start to cool down. Tomorrow's forecast, see a bit of the same. See 91 degrees, partly cloudy in Tallahassee, 89 in Orlando. New Orleans, 84 degrees and sunny, 85 in Shreveport, and Little Rock, 82 degrees.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. We're going to talk about FSU football in terms of the bowl projections. And USA Today has Florida State going up against Tennessee in the Belk Bowl, which is in Charlotte, North Carolina, near the New Year period. Sports Illustrated, they also have the same thing with the Noles squaring off against the Tennessee Volunteers. ESPN, again, they also have the Noles facing the Volunteers in the Belk Bowl. Other news is North Carolina State is currently having negotiations about extending their contract with Dave Dorian. And his contract was supposed to expire after the 2019 season. But as all you know, he won his first game against Florida State earlier this year after 5 attempts. We're also I know a lot of you have been talking about whether Charles Kelly should be going as defensive coordinator. But Derwin James actually talked about the situation today, and he actually backed up Charles Kelly. And we have a piece on Tomahawk Nation highlighting Jimbo Fisher not willing to go for it on 4th down compared to his slow game pace. So what we're going to do right now, we are going to send it back to the wall with Jordan at a look at National.
Thanks so much, Michael. Right now, we're going to go ahead and take a national look at what we have going on right now. Tallahassee looks to be the only storm I see on the map here, sitting at 77 degrees. Much hotter surrounding us, however, 84 Atlanta, 88 New Orleans. I actually correct myself now. I see a little bit of rain up in Seattle, where it always rains about all the time, just like here every summer long. San Antonio, Texas, it's going to be 78 degrees, 75 out in Dallas, Texas. Much cooler than what we actually see here. Here's our main story. We have a lot of water vapor over our region right now, and that's what's getting us this yuck, gross factor that we have. But right behind the cold front, notice all this dry air that we have. It's going to be moving into our region. It's going to be bringing us much cooler temperatures and lower our rain chances significantly over the next coming days. Notice this, the 24-hour temperature change. Big drop in Memphis. Minus 18 degrees temperature change that they lost since yesterday. Right behind it, though, it's going to warm up very quickly. Kansas City at plus 16, Denver at plus 11, and Albuquerque at plus 10. So a large temperature difference between all of this. Here's a better look at our picture. We have this low pressure system sitting just out in South Texas, and we have the cold front connecting it, pushing its way into our region, going to bring us a lot of rain and thunderstorms connected to this other low pressure that's bringing a lot of rain conditions into the northeast region. But right behind it, lots and lots of cool, dry air with both of these high pressure systems dominating much of the Midwest. There's those two systems. We have the one just north of Pennsylvania starting to reach into New York and all the way out to Maine. And then here's the other one in South Texas, bringing a lot of rain into that region as well. Not a whole lot of watches and warnings to talk about here. Not many airport delays either. A good thing to report about that. Tonight's forecast going to look nice and cool throughout much of the region. I'm not even seeing any 80-degree temperatures here. Miami getting a nice cool 78 degrees. Tomorrow, however, those 80s are going to be popping up throughout the map. 86 San Antonio and 84 New Orleans. However, we are going to send it back to the desk right now, where we are going to have Michael standing by. Michael?
Thanks, Jordan. So now we're gonna talk about Hurricane Maria and its impact on Puerto Rico. So it's been 3 weeks since Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico, and a lot of these Puerto Ricans, since they need a home for these next few months, they decided to go to Florida. And so what the Florida Hispanic Chamber of Commerce did on Tuesday is they made a plea for support for these new arrivals. And so now a center has been open in Orlando to help those evacuating from Puerto Rico to help deal with the effects of this aftermath of Hurricane Maria. And other centers are expected to open soon in Tampa, Jacksonville, and in South Florida. So now what we are going to do is we are going to send it off to Jordan with a look at your tropics.
Hi folks, back again here with your tropical update, hurricane season 2017. It's been a very busy one indeed. Look at all these names of this list that we've gone through so far. You remember it started off big, especially with Harvey, Irma, Jose, Katia, we had Lee, Maria, Nate, and now we have Tropical Storm Ophelia out in the Atlantic. Luckily though, it's not a worry for us whatsoever, as it is just a fish storm. This time of year in October, we are expecting hurricanes to take this route, starting just north of the Caribbean Sea and bringing its way into the Gulf of Mexico, possibly crossing Florida or even other parts of the U.S. that reach the Gulf of Mexico. And then it follows its way up the North Atlantic Current all the way out into the middle of the Atlantic. So that's what we expect to see this time of year. Right now, however, we do have Tropical Storm Ophelia, which all right, mine's back. We're going back.
Okay, so what we're going to do right now, we're going to send it back to the wall with the
All right, so right now we're back. Here we go. Tropical storm force winds can reach between 39 and 73 miles per hour. It can also start to bring a little bit of storm surge, especially if you live very close to the coast. And that is a big deal for us out here in Florida. Atlantic satellite, not much to talk about here. Let me go ahead and step out of the way so that way you can see Tropical Storm Ophelia. You are starting to see right over there, very small storm and very far away from us, not to look like a threat at all. It actually looks like it's starting to develop an eye, so it might even strengthen into a hurricane. But again, no threat to landfall whatsoever. We are going to keep our eye out on a couple little systems. One is this one over here. This one over here right above Puerto Rico, and we have this area here, again, the low pressure system that was sitting over Texas. Nothing to watch, again, just this area over here with that low pressure system. Doesn't look to stay over with water anytime soon, so not much to worry about. Again, here we have a slight rotation over here, but it's just bringing a lot of afternoon thunderstorms into South Florida region. There's those two other systems, again, stretching all the way into the northeast, bringing lots of rain out to them, but it is moving rather quickly, so it shouldn't be there for too much longer. We have the other system over here, again, in southern Texas and northern Mexico, so that looks to be good as well. Here's our final satellite and radar look at the southeast region. Again, lots of little pop-up showers here and there, and that is going to be very consistent throughout the rest of the night and into tomorrow evening. Tomorrow should be about the same thing, where it's going to be a very hot, very humid day, but we are going to start to see those storms building up because of that high heat and high humidity. For now, though, we are going to send it off to the desk where we have Michael standing by.
local Tallahassee news. And so former Tallahassee Mayor James Ford passed away the other day. He passed away at the age of 91. Ford became Tallahassee's first African American mayor in 1972 and was the first African American mayor of any U.S. capital. And so the Tallahassee mayor, Andrew Gillum, released a statement on Wednesday after hearing the news, and this is what he quoted. He quoted, "Today, this community lost one of its most beloved leaders as the African American mayor of Tallahassee. Mayor Ford's service blazed a trail for others like myself to follow, and his legacy will be celebrated as a true visionary and a fierce proponent for the city. Our hearts go out to Clintia and the entire Ford family during this difficult time. Tallahassee is with you. And some of the accomplishments Ford did, he was not only a politician, but he was a veteran, a community activist, and a graduate at Florida A&M University. So now, what we are going to do is we're going to send it off to Charlie with a look at Florida. Okay, I heard we're going to be staying at the desk here. So we're going to send it off again to Charlie with a look at Florida.
Appreciate it. Wow, see those temperatures and they're gone. And my mic's dead as well. I got it. See the 69 degrees, 69 degree dew point in Miami, 68 in Fort Myers, 68 in Tampa. See those higher dew points up a little closer to us. We see those the wetter conditions we have, those higher humidity. See the water vapor in the upper level. You see nothing really going on over here in the Gulf, except down here you got easterly flow bringing some moisture in from Georgia area, and then down South Florida you see that. Just south of Orlando, a little bit north of West Palm Beach, you see that dry air flowing in across the state with that much moisture air across, sitting over the Bahamas right now, moving a little further west. Satellite and radar, same picture. You see these shadows, that's the fog and the clouds that we've seen pretty much all day, starting early in the morning. And you see right around there, right around that 5 o'clock, you see those thunderstorms pop up and drop some rain on us, cool our temperatures down. Looking at the futurecast radar, we see 7 o'clock tonight. You see those rain showers still hanging out in our area, but those are expected to move out as the night goes on. As you see the clearer conditions around us, but you do see the rain moving from over the Bahamas and then moving slowly up into Friday and then slowly into the Orlando area, and we're trying to work its way up to us, but not quite reaching there. Looking at tonight's forecast, 79 degrees in Key West, 78 in Miami, 73 degrees in Tampa, 70 in Orlando, 73 all the way out in the Panhandle, Pensacola. For Thursday's forecast, we see pretty much cloudy conditions for everywhere in the state except for Tampa. The lucky peninsula, on the peninsulas looks like you're going to have a clean, clear weather day, 91 degrees, so they do get those hotter temperatures. Us up here in Tallahassee, we're going to have 91 degrees, but it's going to feel a little bit hotter. We got those moisture conditions, so it's going to bring that heat index up a little bit. Current conditions out in Tallahassee, see 77 degrees. Currently thunderstorms with you see that dew point matching that temperature and giving us that 100% humidity. And now we're going to hand it over to Mike for him to finish up.
Yeah, so we're going to take a look at your local forecast one more time. So currently in Tallahassee, it's 77 degrees. We still have thunderstorms being reported at the airport. With the thunderstorm being at the airport, the dew point is at 77%, meaning that the humidity is at 100%. So it is really humid out there. And those winds are coming from the south at 6 miles per hour. Current temperatures are showing 77 in Tallahassee, 75 in Bainbridge. But you can see where it hasn't rained, like in Mariana, it's 86. It's still very warm out there. Local dew points with these local thunderstorms and showers, we are having dew points really high in the 70s. 77 in Tallahassee, 75 in Quincy, 79 in Thomasville. And what does these dew points mean? So we're on the verge of we're on oppressive and on the verge of being miserable with these dew points. And so what this really means, it's like feeling very gross outside. It's very uncomfortable. Like this is more typical of midsummer rather than October. Satellite and radar are showing those thunderstorms forming from this daytime heating and instability. And also we can see a little bit of that sea breeze. Future winds are showing we're going to stay with these westerly winds. So tonight's forecast, whatever storms are going to be left for tonight are going to die down by sunset. And we're going to dip down into those mid to lower 70s. And for Thursday, another hot day, 40% chance of rain, highs close to 90 with these pretty light winds. And if you have any evening plans tonight, early on, we're going to still have some of these showers and storms, but again, they're going to diminish by the time the sun sets. But these temperatures aren't going to really drop that much with that humidity, so it's going to be mainly in the upper 70s by the time you go to bed. And the week ahead is showing we're going to remain with those rain chances on Thursday, but that front we were showing you will come and bring us some drier air, and then some moisture will return. So what we are going to do right now, we're going to wrap up the show with Charlie.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, you see those warm temperatures. That.
Yeah, some drier air is going to come in by this weekend, but in terms of those temperatures, it's not really going to change that much. It's still going to feel like summer outside.
That's right. Hopefully with that drier air, though, we won't start sweating as soon as we get out of the car. Our glasses won't fog up as soon as we hop out.
I'm really looking forward to some fall weather because I feel like this heat and humidity, it has to go at some point, right?
Well, hopefully with this good weather, maybe we can get some barbecue in maybe for this Florida State football game we got on Saturday.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a good game against Duke on the road. I feel like it's going to be a pretty interesting game. It could be closer than people anticipate.
I see. Last I saw, I believe Florida State was favored by a touchdown, but I mean, you know how those things change.
Oh yeah, and especially with the way the team is this year, who knows?
We'll see. Let's see. So, you have any plans for the weekend specifically? Or?
Watching some football, playing some golf on Sunday.
There you go, enjoying those. Dry conditions for once.
Yeah. It's going to be a pretty good weekend if you have any outdoor plans.
Well, you can follow us on Facebook.com/FSU Weather, or follow us on Twitter as well. Taking a look, you can see the week ahead. You see those rain chances starting to increase on Sunday at 40% up through Wednesday. You see it peaking around Monday at the 60% chance of rain.
Yeah, that's that moisture returning. But look at those lows. Other than Saturday being at 67, we're mainly in the 70s. That tells you that humidity is still going to be sticking around. And we don't really see any... Well, Wednesday is hinting at some cooler fall weather, though. We'll see what happens with that.
Well, like I mentioned before, you can follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, Facebook.com/FSU Weather. Twitter is at FSU Weather. We post social media updates, 1-minute updates. We also give some graphics, little tidbits, and how you can plan your weekend.
Yeah. And if you want to see any of our recent newscasts, you can go on to youtube.com/live/FSU Weather.
That's right. Well, for all of us here at FSU Weather, I'm Charlie Bowen.
And I'm student meteorologist Michael Anand. And we hope you have a great night.
Thank you.